we saw the first of the races for the Duke of Donington. It's over 3 legs yesterday, and weather conditions absolutely appalling. And we have 1 or 2 fall by the wayside, literally a few bent machines, but glad to see a lot of overnight working's gone on, and a few of them been repaired. But what a fantastic grid we've got out there. In qualifying, we had Tristan Palmer, Gary Johnson, Luke Mossey and Ian Mackman on the front row. But now, as they come down through Craners for the first time, it is Peter Baker that leads just from Gary Johnson for the first time.
Yeah, Gary Johnson only managed to pick up 6 points in leg 1 of this yesterday. Peter Baker, of course, took the win. He creamed the field, didn't he? And he's leading at the moment from Gary Johnson. Then it's Luke Mossey in 3rd, ahead of Mark Hughes, who did remarkably well to finish 3rd on a stock 600 bike in the Duke of Donington class. Tristan Palmer, of course, not in the race after a few tumbles. There's 1 or 2 other really quick riders that aren't going to be able to race due to tumbles in race 1. But at the moment, it's Baker, and out of the slipstream comes number 22. Gary Johnson is not going to make it this time, though.
Look at this lot queuing up as they come down into Goddard's. It's after you, Claude. I think not. They're all piling in together. But Luke Mossey there in 3rd place. We should also remember, Steve, apart from this fantastic purse of good old cash money, as Gary Johnson nicks by to the lead, and Peter Baker returns the compliment there going into Redgate. It's 5,000 quid to the winner. 2.5 grand to 2nd place. £1,000 to the rider finishing 3rd in the points over the 3 legs, but also £500 outright is up for the fastest lap of any of the races throughout the weekend. I have to say, I don't think we're going to get any necessarily quicker than the Duke of Donington.
No, not at all. And well, that was some good battling there from Gary Johnson and Peter Baker. But yeah, good money up for grabs for any of these riders. And these 3 have been the pick of the bunch so far this weekend. Phil Crowe just a little bit off the pace in 4th at the moment. He's just ahead of what looks like Angelo De Rosa. And we've got a rider down there, and looks a little bit winded maybe.
That's Alan Tanton, isn't it?
I think it may be,
only going by the,
yes,
actually the colour of the machine. I think that's Alan Tanton. Well, what a great shame. He lost out on the Formula 600 championship by just those scant 9 points. I'm afraid he's dumped it in this one. Not his day, but Johnson still leads. Number 22 from Peter Baker, number 1, and 121 there. Flying along in 3rd place is Luke Mossey.
Yeah, Peter Baker then, this is a 3-race championship almost for the money. And Luke Mossey didn't finish the first race, and he goes up the inside of race 1 winner, Peter Baker. And he needs all the points he can get, so Baker at the moment will still be leading overall. As we look a little bit further back, there's Lee Reevely, the 2010 Super Twin champion. He's just ahead of Neil Gregory on circuit.
It is highly competitive stuff. The top 4 or 5 riders are all lapping at an average speed of over 100 miles an hour, and that is pretty tidy stuff around Donington Park. There we see Phil Crowe there, just being harassed by Ian Mackman as he comes into and out of Goddard's. But up the front, Gary Johnson, Luke Mossey and Peter Baker. That's the 1, 2, 3. Now we've got, well, can Ian Mackman do? Yes, he has. He's up the inside into Redgate. He moves up into 4th ahead of Phil Crowe. And lovely. Oh, dumping it big time there. That's Paul Curran, I think, down through the Craners. Good to see him get up and walk away from there. But look at it, front end just tucks under, and the sparks really from his rear end rather than from the machine as he slides across the track. But as I say, walks away from that as the leaders come back down towards us once again. Gary Johnson and Luke Mossey swapping lap after lap, swapping fastest lap times. Advantage Gary Johnson at the moment, but who knows by the time they get to the end of this. Still Johnson then from Mossey and Baker.
Yes, in 4th place then Ian Mackman made his way past Phil Crowe. So Mackman making good progress, but at the front I'm expecting anytime soon to see a reasonable battle forming between Gary Johnson on his Honda 1000 and Luke Mossey, who's been really quick on his Triumph 675 this weekend. There's number 51 now. He's riding Charlie Flett's bike, but that's actually Alex Heaton doing a marvellous job on a big bike. It's his first time out on a the big Ducati, and he's just ahead of Super Twin champion Lee Reevely.
Yeah, as Johnson out the front, still leads, but Luke Mossey edging a little bit closer there, and the two of them consequently just dragging away from Peter Baker. Peter's still got the button push, still very quick lap times indeed, but Johnson and Mossey seeming to be able to get away from him at the front of this as Sean Hurley runs through.
So we're on the last lap now then, and Gary Johnson looks to have just had enough of a gap there ahead of Mr. Mossey.
Yeah, Luke Mossey been closing, fastest lap of the race definitely to him, but he's going to run out of race because the checker flag's out. The win goes to Gary Johnson. Luke Mossey finishing second with that fastest lap. Peter Baker crosses the line in third, and it'll be Ian Mackman in fourth, Phil Crow in fifth, and there's confirmation that Mark Hughes gets across in sixth place. Well, after 2 rounds,